Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. This is the Crystal Witch Oracle, and my name is Lauren. I'm here to guide you through the energies of the upcoming week. And my intention is that the messages that I share today will reach the right person at the exact right moment that they need to hear these messages. I do this with love and for the highest intention of everybody involved, and I always trust that those who tap in each week are here because there is something in these messages that they need to hear. So thank you for being here. I am truly grateful. For those of you who are joining me for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. And for those of you who are returning, I so appreciate your time and your energy that you give to me, that you spend with me, for all your likes, your shares, your subscribes, and most of all your comments. I love hearing from you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I do these readings every Monday just to help us to prepare for the week, so that we can kind of get a little bit of a clearer understanding of things to look out for, things that might come up for us, general themes, etc. So if that's something that you'd enjoy, I'd love it if you would subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the little bell so that you'll be notified each time that I upload a new video. Then I also want to just encourage you to please take what resonates with you and leave what doesn't. You know, the tarot cards are more of a tool for reflection. So sometimes things will resonate with you and sometimes they will not feel in alignment with what you're currently experiencing, although they might make sense in the future. But if that is the case and you're not resonating with it, it's okay. Just leave it behind. You can come back to the video at a later date, or you can watch any of my other readings on the channel, or just tap in on the next week and see if it's more in alignment with you. Then I'd also love if you would let me know if you see anything else in the cards that I don't mention, anything that speaks to you, or if you have a different interpretation. I'd love to hear about it. You know, it's always open to interpretation, and also sometimes I can only say so much in these videos. I try to keep them, you know, as short as possible, while still giving enough information, but it's always difficult to do that without taking up too much time. Anyway, so let's go ahead and jump right in. And then I also do want to say that today is very special because we have a beautiful super full moon today. And then we have the lunar eclipse taking place in 2 days. So this week's energies are probably going to feel quite intense. You might have already been feeling that. I could not sleep last night. I was really like tossing and turning. It was one of those nights where I felt like I was awake the whole time. And that usually happens to me when there is a full moon, because I'm very sensitive to the energy. And I am very excited for this lunar eclipse. I'm not sure why, but I'm feeling a very strong pull to actually set my alarm to wake up and go and see if I can actually witness it. And funny enough, when I check the time for my time zone, it is happening at exactly 4 a.m., 44 minutes past 4 a.m. So 4:44. And I thought that that was so amazing, and that feels very balancing and stable for me. So if you feel called to go and watch the supermoon this week as well, or the eclipse on, should be about the 17th or the 18th, depending on where you are in the world, I highly encourage you to check which time that is taking place in your time zone so that you can also go and have that beautiful experience. And now onto the reading. I have the Moonology deck here by Yasmin Boland. Then I have the Tarot of Mystical Moments by Katrin Waltz-Stein. And then I also have some affirmation cards for us using the deck The Universe Has Your Back by Gabrielle Bernstein. So I decided to go with these Moonology cards today just to honor the super full moon that we will be having. So I will be starting with these. Let me just make some space here. There we go. And let me shuffle. Ooh, there we go. That didn't take very long, did it? Clearly, there's something important that needs to be said. Okay, we've got 3 cards today. So, ooh, I like this. I can definitely use some of this. So it says prosperity lies ahead, new moon in Taurus. And then we have a new start is coming with a new moon. And then we have a fiery climax approaches, full moon in Aries. So this moon is not in Aries. This moon is in Cancer as far as I am aware. And of course it is a full moon, but I did listen to an astrologer today. Her name is Ksenia Moore. She's quite good. I do enjoy her content. And she was specifically mentioning Aries and how Aries is one of the most important planets in the sky in our solar system that we have. And I'm not going to get into the details now because it's quite complicated, but she was just mentioning that there will be some shifts and changes taking place with Aries coming up in the next few months, and we will be seeing that energy and feeling that energy quite strongly. So that is something to also maybe, just take into consideration. But I love this. Prosperity lies ahead. That's very exciting. I'm sure all of us can, resonate with the willingness to create more prosperity and abundance within our life. And then a new start is coming, or is always something that feels really good, right? Like I think a lot of us, could really benefit from having a new start. So I'm going to start with this new moon in Taurus card. Let me just read from the book. So it says this card will always come up when you're inquiring about a financial matter, when you're doubting your self-worth. This card can suggest that you have what you want, including material things, but you must believe in yourself. This comes down to the laws of attraction. Value yourself and others will value you too. You can create abundance. Taurus is associated with luxurious Venus, and this card holds the new moon energy. So now is a good time to make a 12-month financial plan. This card also signals the start of a new relationship or of sexier times. If you've been wrestling with something for a long time, the new moon in sturdy Taurus is a sign not to give up just yet. So I love that. That is such a nice message, especially because it's not just about financial abundance, but it is also about abundance in other ways, and then also reminding us sometimes that we already have those things that we are wishing that we had, right? Doesn't that happen often, where we have our eyes so set on a further prize that we forget about everything that we already have in our possession? So new moon, there is a yes coming your way. This is one of the most auspicious cards in the deck. It's totally positive and suggests something new and exciting is developing. Oh, I love that. The situation you're asking about is blessed, and you are on target to achieve your goals. The message from the universe is that you're starting all over again in some way. Be that on a new or better course, or just feeling more positive about achieving your desired outcome. If you've been feeling stagnant, this card reminds you that life goes in cycles and you're moving into a new cycle now. This is the time to wipe the slate clean. If the situation you asked about has become toxic, either that will clear up now or something totally new and fresh is on its way. Oh, that is such a good card. I love that. And I can definitely, resonate with the cycles, because I am feeling this shift, as I mentioned right in the beginning, especially with this super moon and the eclipse season that's happening. And the eclipse season is always linked to big changes, new shifts, new cycles, big new things starting. So I definitely feel like there is something coming for us which is going to shift our lives into a very positive way. So let me know in the comments if you feel that too. Do you feel like there's something shifting, or are you wanting to shift? Love to hear about it. Then our final card, which is the fiery climax approaches, full moon in Aries. It's time to see if you've been a little bit too much me. There's a tug of war going on between what you want and what someone else wants, but you'll have to wait and see or you'll have to wait a little while to see what's going to happen next. As you wait, ask yourself if you've been handling the situation as sensitively as you could have done. If you know deep down that you've been a little harsh or rash, gone too fast, or overstepped the mark, then accept that on some level you've created the situation yourself, which means you can create your way out of it too. When this card comes up, a peak is coming and it could be fiery. I like that as well. I mean, the Aries energy is that fiery energy. It's that Mars energy. Oh my goodness, I just realized something. I was talking about this Aries card as if it's a planet, but the reason why is because I kept thinking of Mars and not Aries itself. So I'm so sorry about that, but that is what I was actually thinking about, is the whole that Aries is linked into Mars, and Mars is the planet that is fiery. It's the god of war. It's all of that stuff. It's about that same sort of Aries energy. Well, Mars is the ruler of Aries, so that is why I was thinking about that. For anybody who was maybe a bit confused by that, I do apologize. But obviously that is meant to come out for a reason. Otherwise it would not have come out. So let us see what your tarot cards have to say in relationship to these oracle cards that we received, and what else is coming up for this week. So there's our first card. Let me see what else the Spirit wants us to know. What would you like us to know, Spirit? What would you like the beautiful viewer to know for this week? What would you like to tell us? Oops. Okay, so we have got Temperance in reverse. We've got the Eight of Pentacles. Thank you, Spirit. Oh, do you know what's so funny is literally before I started this reading, I was looking at the cards. I literally just picked them up, and I kind of did like a quick, not a quick shuffle, but I just had a quick peek, and I saw the Tower, and I literally was like, in the back of my mind, I was like, I wonder if we're gonna get the Tower card today. So something in my brain must have known that was what was gonna happen. Okay, and then we've got 3 more cards just that flew out there. I'm gonna run out of space here, but we will see what we can do. So I'm gonna just move this over here. I'm gonna put those together. I'm gonna put the Temperance up here, as well as the Eight of Pentacles. And then let's see what else we've got. We've got another major arcana in reverse. Oh my goodness. We've got 4 major arcanas and 3 of them are in the reverse position. What's going on this week? Wow. That's quite something. Major arcanas are all about big changes, overarching things. You could feel this subtly in a way, but sometimes they will also show up as very big themes, as in like maybe you won't see the theme right away when you're reflecting on your current circumstances, but definitely it's one of those situations where you're looking back in the past and you go, oh, I see that big thread over there. I see how all of those things were kind of like connecting into one another. So that is something that you might not know right now what exactly it is, but you will most likely look back on that in a few months and go like, wow, okay, that was like a big message for me that was coming through. So I just want to take a sip of water. Thank you for waiting for me. So let's start with the Temperance card in reverse. So Temperance in reverse talks about, Temperance talks about moderation, or our ability to balance things in our life. That can be a lot of different things. That can be how do we balance time for ourselves versus time with other people? How do we approach any of our sort of interactions, our hobbies, our things that we pass our time with balance or in moderation? Or do we go overboard? So for example, are you somebody who gives way too much to everybody else and you don't keep enough for yourself? Or is it the opposite, like what this Aries card was talking about? Maybe you have been way too focused on yourself recently and you actually need to start thinking about other people. Only you will know what is true for your sort of situation. But this card, especially when it's in the reverse position, can often point to imbalance and not being cautious and moderate in how you approach things. So again, that could be relationships. It could be, this is especially true of things like addiction. It's not quite the same as, what the Devil card might be, but it definitely speaks to excess of some kind or an imbalance of something. So again, it could be like a lack of self-care, or it could be too much time spent on sitting in front of the TV and eating ice cream and not enough time exercising, or something like that. There is a balance. Like, life is all about balance. Like, I'm a big firm believer in that. Like, balance is one of the most important things in my mind that we can do as human beings. Like, we came here to have the full spectrum of experience. We live in a dualistic world. It's no good saying it's all or nothing. You have to have balance. Sometimes you are going to have to push, and other times you need to be really, really just like a blob on the couch. Like, that is balance. That is what it needs to be. Hopefully you could find a happy medium where you're not being extreme any of the time, but obviously that's not how life works. So are you able to witness when you're going into an extreme, and then are you able to actually do what it takes to bring yourself back into balance and commitment? And you might feel that what's happening, because I'm feeling a little bit of like stagnation here. So these cards all being in reverse, you might be feeling a little bit like, I'm putting in all this time. I'm putting in all this effort. I'm really working so hard. I'm trying my absolute best to become a master at what I am trying to do, right? But you might feel like you're not getting anywhere. You might feel as though something here is blocking you. Like, I'm definitely getting a sense of blockage down here. So, we have the Empress in reverse, which Empress normally talks about expansion, growth, etc., abundance, all of those beautiful things. But because it's in the reverse here, it feels like there's just a little bit of like, it's like trying to push a car up a hill, right? Like if you've ever pushed a car up a hill, you'll know cars are very heavy. And you're going up a hill, it's even more difficult. So it kind of feels like that effort, like you're trying to make the effort, but it's just not kind of getting where you need it to go. And then we also have this 8 of Wands, Eight of Wands in the upright position usually talks about speed, swift news, incoming news, or things happening quickly. Like you can see this person has this, all these umbrellas that are basically like dragging her up into the current swiftly on the wind. But in this position, she's kind of heading downwards. It's like a little bit of a downward spiral. It might feel like things are going wrong for you. And I'm going to attribute that to this tower that we're having over here. We also have this judgment card in the reverse, and judgment for me is my card of your spiritual purpose, your dharma, what you came here to do. So when that's in the reverse position, it might really feel a bit like you are trying your best to move towards your purpose, what you know you are supposed to be doing, but it's maybe been a little bit tricky. And it could also just be because maybe you've experienced some tower moments recently. Like maybe you have had a couple of things happen to you recently where you have literally felt like your world has been rocked, or you feel like the very foundation of your existence and your life, your relationships, your home, it could be health, it could be anything, has maybe felt a little bit unstable. Maybe you got some unexpected news. Maybe there was just like the sense of the rug being pulled out from underneath you. It could be unwelcome news. It could even be positive. Sometimes the tower doesn't have to be about something bad. It could be positive, but maybe it's something that has spun you off your axis. It's something that has kind of changed things for you quite radically. And maybe now you used to maybe felt like you had a kind of a clear purpose. Maybe you kind of knew exactly what was expected of you. Maybe you thought you knew what spirit wanted you to do. Maybe you felt like, you know what? It's my purpose to become the greatest chess player of all time. Don't ask me about that metaphor. I don't know where that came from. Maybe one of you is really into chess. But, maybe you wanted to be like major league chess player. You had this whole big dream. You were going to be like that woman from that series on Netflix. I'm trying to remember the name now, but I've forgotten her name. But the Queen's Gambit, that series, which was excellent. But maybe you felt like, okay, I'm really good at this. I'm going to do this. This is my purpose. This is exactly what I need to do in my life. It's clear cut, but maybe you've just had a realization recently that actually it's not quite the right thing for you. Maybe for you, it's like this beautiful hobby that you love. You really enjoy chess. You love the whole thrill of being like the best person in the room, and you can like knock out a match in like an hour and like win, prizes and do all these amazing things. But maybe it's forcing you to spend too much time away from your family. Maybe you have put so much time and energy into becoming the master at this now that you're actually at the top. You've realized that maybe you're a little bit bored, because that happens too. Sometimes people feel like they have learned everything that they can learn about something, and they feel like they can never actually improve on what they've been doing. And now they're finding themselves a little bit bored and like a little bit like, okay, actually, I want to do something a little bit different. I've always painted blue butterflies. Now I want to start painting pink butterflies instead. I don't want to have to do things the way that I've always done them. I want to shift and change my perspective a little bit. Maybe that's something that's coming out for you. Or it could just be maybe, your foundation has just been a little bit rocked. Maybe like what I was saying earlier about, it could be a case of, I've really been trying. I've been trying so hard to hone my skills, to really put myself out there, to experience this growth and this success and this expansion that I'm really, really wanting and desiring. but I just don't feel like I can get there. Like, I do feel like I'm pushing that car up the hill. Everything is going kind of slowly. Nothing's kind of coming the way that I want it to. Or maybe you've been waiting for something to actually come into fruition. Maybe there is a message or something that's trying to make its way through to you, but you just haven't seen it yet. So, you're waiting for this announcement. It could be something, maybe there is maybe you've done an application for something and you're waiting for the news to be announced or something. But there's like a sense of frustration here where it's like, I'm not getting the news that I want. I'm not getting the business that I want. I'm not getting the clients that I want. I'm not getting the relationship that I want. Or, there's something that I've been really spending a lot of time and energy trying to sort of work towards, but it's just not kind of getting there. And I am looking at these two cards and I am linking these together, and I feel like there could be a lot of frustration as a result of this. Maybe you're just feeling like, you know what, I'm actually kind of like, I'm over it now. And maybe it's not the sense of like, I'm angry, or, because not everybody leans towards that anger. Like, I'm definitely not one of those people. I kind of lean more towards a sense of frustration. So I will be like, oh, you know what, can it just work? Like, I just want things to go right. I want things to work out the way that I want them to work out. I want this prosperity, and I want this new start, and I want this beauty, and I want this card to be in the upright position. I want to go places. I want to do things. I want this growth, this beautiful flowers. And I've worked so hard to really put in time and attention to the details, and why is it not kind of working out for me? What am I not seeing? What am I doing wrong? I thought this was my purpose. I thought this was what I was meant to do, but now I've kind of had this little bit of upheaval, and now I'm feeling frustrated, and I feel like this is reaching a point where, okay, I need to decide what is it that's actually happening. If it doesn't happen quickly, I'm going to get really annoyed. So I do get that sense over here, but I also feel like you are being cautioned. Look, sometimes these things happen because we need to slow down, because we need to have this temperance. We have thrown ourselves into a sense of imbalance, right? Because we've been pushing too hard. Maybe we've been trying a bit too hard to make things happen for ourselves instead of just allowing things to unfold naturally. Maybe we have been working too hard. Maybe we need to actually take a break and have a little bit more fun. And this tower moment, or this news, or this whatever it was that kind of came through that's kind of thrown you for a little bit of a loop, maybe, is saying to you, hey, listen, you need to slow down. You need to listen to what we've been trying to tell you, because you're not getting the message. So the universe is like, look, I didn't want to have to do it this way, but you weren't listening to me. So I have given you a bout of illness, or I have made you sprain your leg, or I don't know if you can sprain a leg, sprain an ankle, you know what I mean? Or all of a sudden that trip that you were really looking forward to is cancelled, or something has been thrown, a spanner has been thrown into the works because you need something different. Maybe you need to slow down and you actually need to spend some time at home. You need to kind of just be on bed rest for a little while. Maybe you just need to spend some time with your family, or have a friend take care of you for a couple of days instead of you taking care of them, or something. The universe is like, look, I want to give you everything, and I know that you deserve this, and I know you've worked really hard, but if you are pushing too much to try to make things happen, with this fiery Aries energy, which is go, 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 go. I want to make things happen, and I want them to happen now, yesterday. Why haven't they happened yet? What's taking so long? You need to give that little seed time to germinate. You need to let things come to fruition in their own perfect time. We cannot force everything. And I'm being drawn to this new moon, right? This void. And this is like the cosmic womb, right? This is represents the potential of the womb, that it is a void space where you cannot see what's going on. You don't really know, like you can't take a peek. Well, with modern sciences, you can take a peek of what's going on in the womb, but you can't really like just looking as a normal person, like look at it and go like, okay, yes, I'm seeing that your baby has 10 toes. If you're looking at a pregnant woman's stomach, right? You can't see that. Like you just have to trust the process and say, yes, that baby is growing healthily. Everything is going great. When it comes out, it should have 10 toes, 10 fingers, 2 eyes, a nose, a mouth, etc., right? If we're lucky. You just have to trust the process. You can't and you cannot make that process go any further or faster than you want, right? So like you can't force a baby to come out at 3 months because that baby's not going to make it, right? So maybe that's the message that you're getting here. There is a new start coming. There is an ending coming to what you've been working towards, what you've been putting your time and energy into. But you need to embrace your balance, because maybe through this process of trying to create this thing, you've developed some frustration, and the universe has sent you something to help you slow down because you were not it was starting to cause an imbalance in your life, right? Because maybe you were pushing a bit too hard. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here in these cards today. So my advice to you is just whatever is taking shape in your life right now, no matter how potentially frustrating that feels, no matter how much you want things to move forward at a faster pace, or you want things to take shape, you wish things were different, I think the advice here is to, you know what, just take it as you can right now. Allow for the gestation period. And I'm actually just seeing again now that there is a little baby here. I didn't even really notice that anymore. But you know that this is a gestation process. It takes the time that it takes. You cannot force it. You cannot make it go faster, because when you try to force it to go faster, you will actually interrupt the process. And this makes me think of this butterfly card as well. You know, like one of my favorite facts about butterflies is that when they are emerging from the cocoon, if you try to help that butterfly out of its cocoon, because they struggle through the process of trying to emerge from the cocoon. If you try to help that butterfly by, like, if you were to take like a little pair of scissors and you were to cut the cocoon open, that butterfly could actually die from that, because it needs the struggle. It needs the process needs to be followed in the right way, because the struggle of exiting the cocoon actually helps that butterfly to develop its wings, and it strengthens the wings. So when it doesn't have that, because you've cut the cocoon open and try to make it easier for that butterfly, the butterfly doesn't actually have the strength that it needs to grow its wings and actually make it through the life that it needs to live, because the wings aren't developed, right? I don't know if that made any sense, but I do think that that's important for you to hear as well. Like, you know, again, it's that thing of the process is the process, and sometimes the process doesn't look like what we want it to look like. Sometimes the process has unexpected things that might come across the path, and even though we're like, oh, this wasn't part of the plan, it doesn't mean that it is not actually for the highest good of that process, right? So, okay, we got 4 cards today. I'm taking a lot more cards today than I would normally take, but I do feel like... Sorry, that's so funny. Oh, what was I just saying? I was literally just saying this. Obstacles are detours in the right direction. That's so funny. Okay, so I'm going to put this right here on this tower card, because I feel like those two go together. Obstacles are detours in the right direction. So you got to be that butterfly, you know, you've just got to be that little butterfly. Energy flows where my intention goes. Isn't that just wonderful. Like, what are you focused on? What is it that you are kind of paying attention to right now? Are you paying attention to the things that aren't working out, or are you paying attention to all the possibilities that could come from this experience? I choose love no matter what. So if you are feeling frustrated right now, maybe this is even to do with a relationship or partnership, a connection of some kind, choose love. Choose love in the situation. Choose to give that person the benefit of the doubt. Choose to love and support and guide them no matter what. And actually, I'm going to link below in the description box, I will link a video that I listened to from Michael Singer this week, and it was really, really good. I listened to it over the weekend, and he talks about how it's important for us to embody love for ourselves and allow love to flow through us in that way, instead of the love that we think is love portrayed as by like the movies and stuff. It's a really wonderful talk. I highly recommend listening to it. He talks about like how in order to truly love and to be happy and to reach that Christ consciousness that, you know, many of us are aiming for, we need to embody love in a different way than what we're generally taught. So the presence of love will always cast out fear. So again, it's reinforcing that message of, if you are having a bit of a bad time right now and you are feeling quite stressed out because of all of this stuff that's going on right now, step back into love. If there is somebody that you can connect with who makes you feel really happy, makes you feel really loved, makes you feel safe and connected, I would recommend getting in touch with them right now and just constantly choosing love, because love and trust for the situation will always give you that peace of mind versus fear of the situation. When we allow fear to take over, we're not going to have a good time. We're going to actually just make things so much worse, because, you know, where my energy flows, where my intention goes. If I'm thinking about all the things that are going wrong and everything that's not working out and how much hard work I put out and it's not working and I'm getting out of balance and there's this tower moment and all these things are going wrong, I'm just going to bring more of that into my space, right? Because that is the kind of energy that you're pulling yourself or pulling towards yourself. So just be mindful of that. So I hope that this was helpful, and I would really love to hear if any of this resonates with you. Please let me know in the comments. It's really helpful to my channel. If you like, if you share, if you subscribe, if you comment, especially very helpful for comments. And also, I just love hearing from you. I love knowing that the messages that I've shared here are beneficial to you, that it has actually resonated with you in some way. So please feel free to comment. Really, really appreciate hearing from you. And I hope that you have a beautiful week. May you be blessed and enjoy that super full moon today and the eclipse as well. Sending you lots of love. Bye.